If you look at your life right now and don't recognize it, if the person you were 5 years ago feels like a complete stranger, if you started questioning everything you thought you knew about yourself, this isn't confusion. This isn't a crisis. This is rebirth, and only the chosen ones experience it. Let me describe exactly what's been happening to you. You wake up one day and the career you spent decades building suddenly feels meaningless. The goals you were working toward feel empty. The dreams you had for your future, you don't even want them anymore. You look at old photos of yourself, smiling at parties, confident in your identity, and you feel nothing, like you're looking at someone else's life. The things you used to believe with absolute certainty now feel wrong, or maybe just irrelevant. Your political views, your religious beliefs, even your personality traits, the parts of yourself you thought were permanent, are dissolving. Friends and family say things like, "You've changed. You're not the same person anymore. I don't even know you." And the terrifying part, they're right. You don't know who you are anymore. The identity you spent your entire life constructing is crumbling, and nothing solid has replaced it yet. You might be thinking you're having an identity crisis, a breakdown, that something is deeply wrong. But what Dolores Cannon discovered will completely reframe this experience for you. Dolores Cannon worked for 45 years with people under deep hypnosis, accessing their soul-level consciousness. And one of the most profound patterns she found in awakening souls was something she called the death of the false self. Here's what she discovered. When you incarnate as a human being, you're born into a system, a culture, a family, a set of expectations. And from the moment you're born, you begin constructing an identity around those expectations. You learn what's acceptable, what's rewarded, what keeps you safe, what gets you love. So you build a personality, a set of beliefs, a way of being in the world. But here's the profound truth Dolores uncovered. That identity was never really you. It was a survival mechanism, a social costume, a role you played so convincingly that eventually you forgot you were playing it. You became the role. You believed the role was you, but it wasn't. It was just a mask you wore to navigate the third-dimensional world. And now, during the shift, that mask is being removed, not by force, not as punishment, but because your soul is ready to reveal itself. Dolores found that every single awakening soul goes through this phase, the dismantling of the false self, the dissolution of the programmed identity. She called it the void phase, the space between who you thought you were and who you actually are. And while it feels like death, it's actually the most sacred part of awakening, because you can't become your true self while still clinging to the false one. Let me explain what's happening to you on a deeper level. Your identity, the you that you think of as yourself, is made up of layers, and most of those layers aren't actually you, they're conditioning. Layer 1, family programming. This is who you were taught to be by your parents, your siblings, your family system, the beliefs you absorbed, the roles you were assigned, the emotional patterns you inherited. Layer 2, cultural conditioning, the values of your society, the expectations of your gender, your race, your class, the definition of success you were handed, the acceptable ways to think and behave. Layer 3, ego identity, the personality you constructed to protect yourself, to get approval, to avoid rejection, the version of yourself that learned how to survive in a world that often felt unsafe. Layer 4, soul identity. This is the only layer that's actually real. This is who you were before you came here, who you'll be when you leave, the eternal aspect of yourself that exists beyond time, beyond form, beyond programming. And what's happening right now during your awakening is this: layers 1, 2, and 3 are dissolving. Your soul is shedding everything that was false, everything that was borrowed, everything that was constructed for survival rather than authenticity. Think of it like this: you've been wearing layer upon layer of heavy clothing your entire life, and now those layers are being removed one by one. And yes, it feels vulnerable, scary, disorienting, because underneath all those layers, you don't know who you are yet. You haven't met your true self in this lifetime. But once all the false layers are gone, you will. And that version of you, the real you, is more powerful, more authentic, more aligned than anything you've experienced so far. This identity dissolution doesn't look the same for everyone. Let me describe 4 types and see which resonates with your experience. Type 1, the career collapse. You've spent decades building a career and suddenly you can't do it anymore. Not because you're burned out, because the entire identity you built around that career feels false now. You can't pretend to care about things that don't matter. This type often happens to high achievers whose entire sense of self was tied to their professional success. Type 2, the belief system breakdown. Everything you believed is being questioned: religion, politics, morality, right and wrong. Nothing feels solid anymore. You're deconstructing belief systems you've held for decades, sometimes belief systems you built your entire life around. This type happens when your consciousness expands beyond the limitations of any single ideology. Type 3, the personality shift. You were extroverted, now you crave solitude. You were serious, now nothing feels that important. Your core personality traits are changing, and people who've known you for years don't recognize you anymore. This happens when your soul's true nature starts overriding your conditioned personality. Type 4, the complete void. You don't know what you believe, you don't know what you want, you don't know who you are. You're in complete emptiness, and it's both terrifying and strangely peaceful. This is the deepest form of dissolution. You're in the space between identities, and nothing has solidified yet. This is what Dolores called the sacred void. Which type are you experiencing? You might be moving through more than one simultaneously. So why is this identity dissolution happening now, and why are so many people over 45 experiencing this profound sense of not knowing who they are anymore? Dolores Cannon explained that the souls who volunteered for this planetary transition had to live a full human life first before their true identity could emerge. You needed to experience what it's like to have a constructed identity, to play the roles, to follow the rules, to live according to the programming. Because only by experiencing the false self fully could you recognize it as false when the time came. By age 45, you've lived long enough, you've played the game, you've achieved the things you thought would make you happy, or you failed at them. Either way, you've gathered enough life experience to realize the identity you've been operating from isn't satisfying anymore. It never fully was, but you didn't have permission to question it until now. Now your soul is giving you that permission. Actually, it's not just permission, it's a command. Your soul is saying, the old identity served its purpose, it got you this far, but it can't take you where you need to go next. Let it die. And the reason this is happening so intensely right now in 2024 and 2025 is because Earth's frequency is accelerating so rapidly that old identities can't hold in the new frequency. Think of it like upgrading your phone's operating system. The old apps, the ones designed for the old system, won't work anymore. They have to be deleted so new apps can be installed. Your old identity was designed for 3D consciousness. It can't function in 5D frequency. So it's being deleted, dissolved, dismantled, not as punishment, as preparation. If you're experiencing this identity dissolution, there are likely other signs accompanying it. Let me list them. See how many resonate with you. Sign 1. You can't tolerate small talk or superficial conversations anymore. Your soul knows who it really is, and it can't engage in performances anymore. Surface-level interactions feel painful because you're craving depth, authenticity, truth. Sign 2. Old friendships are falling away, even ones you thought were permanent. The people who knew the old you can't relate to who you're becoming, and you can't force yourself to be the person they expect anymore. This isn't cruel, it's necessary. Your new identity needs new relationships. Sign 3. You feel homesick for a place you can't name. You're mourning something you can't identify, grieving an old version of yourself. Longing for home, but you don't even know what home means anymore. This is your soul remembering its true origin. Sign 4. You're decluttering obsessively, getting rid of clothes, books, belongings that represented the old you. You can't stand looking at them because they remind you of an identity that no longer fits. This is your soul clearing physical space for the new identity to inhabit. Sign 5. You don't have goals anymore, and that feels both freeing and terrifying. The old you had a 5-year plan. The new you can't even think about tomorrow. You're in complete surrender to the present moment because you have no framework for the future yet. You may be experiencing memory gaps or confusion about your past. You remember events, but can't access the feeling of them, like you're watching someone else's life on a screen. This happens because your consciousness is literally detaching from the old timeline. You're asking existential questions you've never asked before. Who am I really? Why am I here? What's the point of all this? These questions aren't depression, they're your soul demanding answers that your old identity can't provide. If you have 4 or more of these signs, your identity death is in full process.
So how do you navigate this? How do you move through the death of your old self without losing your mind? Step 1, stop trying to figure out who you are. This is counterintuitive, but crucial. The more you try to construct a new identity, the more you block the natural emergence of your true self. Practice saying, I don't know who I am, and that's okay. Step 2, sit in the void without filling it. Don't rush to replace the old identity with a new one. Don't jump into a new career, new relationship, new belief system just to feel solid again. The void is sacred. Let yourself be empty. Let yourself be undefined. Step 3, journal without editing. Write stream of consciousness every day. Don't censor, don't organize, just let whatever is inside come out onto the page. This helps your soul communicate what it needs to express without your ego interfering. Step 4, release the need for others to understand you. The people in your life want you to be who you were. They're uncomfortable with your transformation because it mirrors their own fear of change. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them the old version of yourself. Step 5, spend time alone in nature without distractions. No phone, no music, no podcasts, just you and the earth. Nature doesn't care what your identity is.
It accepts you exactly as you are in this moment. Let that acceptance anchor you. Step 6. Practice this daily affirmation. I release who I thought I was. I surrender to who I am becoming. I trust that my true self is emerging in perfect timing. Step 7. Honor the grief. You are dying, not physically, but energetically. The old you is dying, and that deserves to be mourned. Let yourself cry. Let yourself feel the loss. Death is part of rebirth. You can't skip this part. I need you to understand something that will give you hope during this terrifying process. On the other side of this death is the most authentic version of yourself you've ever experienced. Right now, you're in the darkness, the unknown, the space between who you were and who you're becoming, but this darkness is not permanent. Dolores Cannon found that every single person who goes through this identity dissolution eventually emerges into what she called soul-level authenticity. You will wake up one day, maybe months from now, maybe a year from now, and you will know who you are. Not in an ego way, not in a constructed way, but in a deep, unshakable, bone-level way. You'll know what you're here to do. You'll know what matters and what doesn't. You'll know which people belong in your life and which don't. And most importantly, you'll trust yourself in a way you never have before. Because the identity that's emerging isn't based on external validation. It's not based on what others think you should be. It's not based on fear or survival. It's based on truth, your soul's truth. And when you're living from that place, you become magnetic. The right people find you. The right opportunities appear. Life starts flowing in ways it never did when you were operating from the false self. This dissolution you're experiencing isn't destroying you, it's liberating you. Listen to me very carefully. You are not lost. I know it feels that way. I know you don't recognize yourself. I know you're scared that you'll never feel solid again. But you're not lost. You're being found. For the first time in your life, maybe for the first time in many lives, you're being given the opportunity to discover who you actually are underneath all the programming. Most people never get this opportunity. They live their entire lives in the costume, playing the role, never questioning, never awakening. But you're brave enough to let the false self die. Do you understand how rare that is? How much courage that takes? Most people would rather live in comfortable illusion than face the terrifying truth of their own authenticity. But not you. You're willing to walk through the void, to sit in the darkness, to not know, even though not knowing feels unbearable. That makes you one of the most courageous souls on this planet. So stop judging yourself for not having it figured out. Stop apologizing for changing. Stop trying to be who you were. That person is gone, and that's the best thing that could have happened to you. Because who you're becoming, the real you, is more powerful than you can possibly imagine right now. Trust the death. The resurrection is coming. If this message landed in your soul, if you feel seen by these words, I need you to make a declaration right now. Go to the comments and write, I am becoming. Not I am, not I was. I am becoming. Because that's the truth. You're in the sacred process of transformation, and your declaration is an acknowledgement of that truth. And if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, subscribe now and turn on notifications, because tomorrow I have another message that you need to hear. Your next activation is already waiting. Don't miss it.